Hi, we are Pan, even though it's Paul and Angela, and we're ready to give another update. So, thank you for joining me or watching. This is about our family project that we're doing this summer, and it's something that we've wanted to do for a while actually. So, we are on Sprint 5. In these videos, we basically share what we've done and we do it in a live format just to keep us going so we don't think too much about it and so that our family can keep moving. So with that, we'll go. So in these updates, we'll give kind of three different sections. One is talking about what we call current sprint, the sprint process, how we kind of keep ourselves every 2 weeks going in momentum and giving updates, and also making little kind of projects that we do. And then the demo, we'll demo our progress, and then we'll talk about what we'll do in the next sprint. This is the date. Today's the final demo. And then we release tomorrow. So whatever we were able to complete in this last couple of sprints, that's what we'll be kind of releasing, announcing tomorrow. All right. So, Paul, do you want to take this on?
Oh, so what are we releasing, Angela? Because I see an X here.
Under Paul's name. So, our son, Arius, is probably the one that completed his task. He did make an animated video intro. Not an outro. I don't know why I put that. It could be an outro as well. Just hand drawing it. So, we're really proud of him.
Yeah, there's some mixed animation that actually kind of cool look like coming in, but then if you reverse it, and it could be our outro too as well. So I think there's some possibility of doing a lot of using the video for an intro or outro if we play with it a little bit.
Yeah, and we're just proud that he was able to create it from the software that he found and just giving him an artistic outlet for himself and a creation outlet. And then for me, I am in progress. I do plan on finishing off our first travel post. So for those of you following our page, you'll see me posting videos because I'm posting videos and pictures of a prior trip because I'm trying to link them into, and I'll demo that into our blog post. So if anyone ever wants to go to Winter Park or go to Colorado, you can see how much the trip costs, what the itinerary is, and kind of see how we planned it.
Yeah, it's actually informational website and it's a lot of pretty pictures that we took. So.
And then there's Paul. He didn't get to it. Yes. He does have a full-time job, so you can't blame him. He's our breadwinner.
Well, I mean, it's that, and then yoga teacher training. So we've been focusing a lot this past week on trying to get things done on outside of these projects, but hopefully with yoga teacher training completed, I can actually start focusing a little bit on here. Good thing we just finished it today. Both of us, we're certified yoga teachers. Not teaching yet, but
I do have a next slide. I'll show a picture.
Oh, okay,
we
cool.
Just came from that.
Yeah, we just came. Yeah,
and then we could not convince Ethan to finish to create a video. I know he can do it. It just. Maybe the project was too big for a 12-year-old I just wanted to see if he was able to, hey, here's all the photos from the trip. Can you create a story out of it? Can you create not a short form, but a long form video out of it? And he did struggle with that. So now I know the capability maybe of a 12-year-old and the ability to focus. So we'll tailor it back and see how we can kind of help him along with that. Yep. So with that, just as Paul said, this is just today. We are official certified yoga teachers. So we did this together. We've been taking this 200-hour training since March, going every Friday from 5 to 10 p.m. And then every other Saturday from 8 to 6:30 p.m. And this weekend, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So needless to say, this is why it's a little bit later on a Sunday. And also, we're just tired of this. We had to read, I think, 6 to 8 books.
I think it's a dedicated process. It's a lot of work to put in, and especially full-time kids taking care of everything. It takes away from the family as well. But
especially with the both of us in it.
Yeah, we're both doing it.
So we're really grateful that my parents were there to watch them,
and the boys
then our
are
friends.
Much older enough to handle themselves as well.
Yeah.
So.
And thank you, shout out to Tia Nelson for letting our boys go over there on those Saturdays that we're not there because we're missing a lot of it. So, and so for the summer so hopefully now we can spend a bit more time. We haven't traveled just because we're trying to not miss any more hours than we had. So we're super excited. We're not sure, with the teaching, I think, then there's a whole process of looking to be a teacher and auditioning and trying to, get hired and all that.
That's in the future endeavors. We'll give you more updates on that. But I would say the yoga teacher training is awesome program. April and Brittany who taught it, and I think it was a lot of learning from it. So I mean, if you never tried it, or if you're looking to do extend on your yoga practice, is actually a good learning of yoga in general, because yoga is just a physical thing that you do every day, but there's actually more limbs around yoga that you can actually learn and practice with. But some people we've talked to people who just taken it and they're done, but we might consider doing the teacher, trying to work as a teacher.
I mean, it really is a pretty thorough, fantastic program, including kind of the history of yoga, the philosophy of yoga, including books that we read about it, and also practicing it. I mean, yesterday we did a 3.5 hour meditation. I didn't realize we could sit that long and not talk or meditate for that long, but I'd say it was revelating in some way. So
it was an interesting experience. Not expecting that it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit shorter, but
they don't tell us how long. They said we're going to do a long meditation.
Yeah.
Let's take a seat. And before you know it, you're like, how long does this take? But anyway, so that is, so we're super excited. We're proud of ourselves. And it was a nice thing that we could do together. That's not very, there's very few things I think sometimes as a couple besides kind of enjoying everything.
Together. Yeah.
All right. So then our next demo. So this is something that Eric's done. I almost convinced him to talk about the creation process of this, but then he thought about it and he chickened out the hour before.
I think he just hadn't found the courage to come to be in front of the camera yet. I think he's slowly working. Yeah, he was open to it. So I think he's slowly working that courage in. But I think it's amazing what he does. If you look at this, he's actually hand drawing these leaves in there.
Yeah.
And trying to make it animate. So I think he's using stop animation for this.
So
I'll play
it.
It's interesting.
It's a very quick video. But yeah, he learned to draw. You can see kind of how he drew that, and it kind of do it again. There's no sound or anything, but either way, it's still an artistic out. He's been playing around actually with a lot of hand drawing out animation. So we're proud that though it seems short, but it still takes a lot of time and effort just trying to get it out there. We see him really putting that effort in there. So we'll start to add it to our videos in the next one once I figure out the blog post and then how to motivate the boys to create that long form video. We'll start adding that in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're super proud of him. The next one is this blog post. So I'm trying to, figure out a standard ways of posting and the information that we can share. So this one is Easter 2024. So we took this trip late March. So in a 3-day weekend. So we like to do, so a lot of people ask us, how do you not have the kids miss school and everything? It's because we try to take advantage as best as possible in these long weekends or short, long weekends and try to maximize as much as possible. So in the blog post, I'll switch over here. We'll give these tips in there and what we do for us to take, like, last year we probably took 12 to 13 trips as a family. We're very much optimizing and taking opportunities of these days off that they have, and we'll usually fly that night of, so after school and that evening of, and we'll usually also look for a deal in flight prices. So where we try to save the most money, I think, is usually the flights, and we're willing to fly a really low cost carrier to do that, just because if it's a 2.5 hour trip, it doesn't bother us. It doesn't really bother the boys. And because it's just so fast, like you can watch the TV. I mean, you can watch it like a movie on the plane ride, and it doesn't really. So, and plus, If you know that I was a consultant in the beginning of my career, and I have been disappointed by every single airline because I've been delayed by every single airline. So it doesn't matter how, if it's, what rank.
What's the rule of thumb that you always give?
50%, and it still happens today. So half, if you ever fly with us, and a lot of friends may not want to, but 50%, I have this rate. At least 50% of the time, I will be delayed. So I've accepted that fact.
Not delayed. Something will happen 50% of the time.
It is delayed usually.
Oh, it's delayed. But we lost luggages.
We
lost car seats.
Yeah.
What else?
Overnight stays.
Yeah,
in the airport.
Stays. We got canceled completely.
Yeah. But yet that doesn't still stop us. So we still go. Yeah. So even as a family, pay the price. I travel alone. I pay the price. But the family gets dragged down with it. But it's I kind of accept it now because it's been over 15 years like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually half the trips will get delayed in some form or fashion.
I try to rub my belly for good luck. Just hopefully it doesn't.
This one, I think we did get delayed in this one. I think I write about it here. So you'll see that in here, there will be an itinerary. I try to lay it out as easy to understand as possible in case anybody is plan on leveraging this type of trip. So, and typically I do plan most of the trips, and Paul is really good at executing. So on the day when we're there, my brain shuts off, he takes over. So that's how the partnership kind of works. Yeah. I will go and research, and usually my rule of thumb,
like a good planning where at least it's not hard set stones, but enough that we can drive our, basically execute day-to-day activities.
And typically I will do probably one major. I don't really load up unless it's like a really aggressive schedule, especially like this, like a mountain type of trip and snow in the snow. I typically try to plan one activity a day, like one. So here you'll see day one, our major activity was tubing, and the rest is kind of exploring the town. And then day two is just the ski lessons for the boys or ourselves. And then the rest is just kind of town, because these lessons, the snow, everything is kind of a little bit slower on these types of trips because it takes so much effort to gear up and then rent equipment, pick it up, and then go. And then usually, and this is really short, like a 3-day trip, then we just go back to the airport the last day and kind of fit in if we can the museum. So in here you'll see all these. So I'm using Facebook as a way to upload photos because I'm using a free Wix site, blog site to post these things. And on the free version, there is limited memory for pictures. So I thought, like, why not just leverage it, and it lets you kind of embed it pretty nicely, I would say. And then I'm not really sure what happens when you don't have a Facebook account and you click on it, but for now it looks like it shows up. So you'll see it here. You'll see some of the photos of how tired they look, because this trip we did get delayed I don't think we landed till 2 a.m. into Denver. Yeah, I think I looked at the video. It's like 2 a.m. or 2:30 after a full day of school, full day of work. We were tired. And it was just because our flight was so delayed from it. Again, very normal occurrence. I try to also embed the maps in case anybody wants to stay in a certain place or see a recommendation. We try most of the time to do some sort of room tour as well. Paul's pretty good at recording that. And then, even the restaurants, if there are any where we go, I try to tag that in there, because thankfully Google lets you embed pretty well. And that's what I'm learning.
I would say one recommendation is, like, if you know you're going to land late, call the hotel in advance.
Oh, good point.
Because, there was one time we actually came late and they just gave us actually moved us to a different hotel.
That's true.
So,
that was because we were too delayed.
Yeah, we're too delayed. Yes. So it should always remember to call the hotel, even if you're not late. You should just call the hotel and say, hey, we're actually coming, just let you know we're landing about this time and expect us around this time. So at least they can keep that note on in case someone's looking at hotel rooms is available or not. They won't give yours away. Yeah,
that is something we learned. That was, like I said, we've been through lots of delays, lots of mishaps and things like that. But you know what? That's life. And so we keep marching forward no matter what. We will also put in the trip costs. I think this one in total for a family of 4 and 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights, including flights, activities, and dining, was around $2,700. So we'll be pretty transparent in case you're trying to. And I would say that snow trips typically are a little bit more, just because the activity side, the equipment and the lessons and the lift tickets are kind of expensive.
How did you break down the food? So people try to gauge on budget on how much food they want to put budget into. Do you just show everything or day by day or?
No, I just total everything that we spend on the trip for food. So yeah, so this is, and then the good news is that because it was Easter, so it's after spring break, there was a promo on actually staying in the hotel. So I'll also share that too, because we're technically in the low season. There was still snow because up in the mountain, it was snowing.
It was lucky.
But it's pretty like kind of on the low season. And sometimes we will do that to pick the low season. So when they're off, so we'll try to pick we try to be as strategic, cost efficient as possible, from cost efficient and also kind of PTO efficient, right? Kind of time off, day off efficient. We don't mind going to low season because we don't really like crowds anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and I think we got lucky on this trip because literally, I think the sun was out when we landed, and they had warm season time, but of course the mountains were still cold and snowing. But when we landed and we drove in that day, it snowed a lot the whole day. But the last day we left, everything was melted. Yeah. The sun was so hot.
You can see, I think the grass was showing through. They're saying on the ski hill.
Yeah,
so yeah, we did luck out in the weather, meaning that we had to drive in the snow, but it had enough snow to have a good powder, at least for the next day, for us to do the lessons and tubing and all that. And then by the day we left, it was melting already. Yeah. So yeah, so that's the downside of that. And we'll share more trips as we go as well. Just like last year, we went to Banff on a lower season as well. And even though we couldn't see the turquoise water, the snow was just amazing and gorgeous. So mountain trips and everything is probably one of our family's favorite, just because I would say probably from our highly sensitive soul, it's just very calming, the white snow. It just brings a sense of, and nature, it just helps us connect as well. So it's very much, I think I do recommend it if you are more in sensitive side and like that nature. Mountains, at least for our family, is super calming compared to like the cities like Chicago, New York, and all that. So, okay, so then the next steps. Now that we're graduated, hopefully we have more time now. And Paul has always wanted to make a video about probably himself. He will start his dandelion video. I will post the winter. I'm going to finish it up and post it and release it by tomorrow. Then I'm going to go backwards. Then the trip before this in March we took was a Disney cruise trip. So I will blog about that as well. We took a 4-night trip. We did splurge a little, so stay tuned for that. And then Arius said he would try to piece that together in a long form video. Disney is one of our family's favorite, even though it can be overwhelming from a sensitivity perspective. There's something about the storytelling that it helps us connect in a deeper way. And then Ethan, I'm going to try to work with him again and see if we can get him to do a video, because I do think he has the talent to do it. And it's just finding the right balance for a 12-year to put things together in an easy way, I think is what I'm working with. But he's good.
And I think if he's doing a lot on his computer now, and his computer's kind of old, I feel kind of bad. And maybe we start looking for better equipment for him, because I just was working on just right now, just trying to do printing some work for him, and it was just super slow. But I think we're going to try to upgrade him a little bit here to help him be better performance around what he does and stuff.
So with that, this is just our normal calendar. If you're first time tuning in, you see we put ourselves in what we call a 2-week sprint. So each sprint, at the end of each sprint, we'll release something new. And then in between, I might sprinkle in some other videos and things like that. But I'm trying to get us into a good rhythm in which we can share kind of content, and just, in case anybody might learn from it, right? I'm like I said, I'm always deep in knowledge sharing. So this is our next sprint schedule. It'll start on the Tuesday after the release tomorrow, and we'll go through the early August. So stay tuned. We will have another update on Sunday, August 4th. So we're going to keep going and keep trying, even if we don't have low audience or nobody's really paying attention, that's okay.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we're going to keep trucking through this. We're going to make some amazing video, amazing posts, and I think if y'all like what we do, well, I think those crowd will come in who likes to hear this type of information. But she's doing a great job trying to facilitate the work, make sure we're moving forward. But overall, I think we're going to keep doing this because this is what we love to do. We love to travel, and we like to share these experiences. So, and then there's other things we like to do too as well. I mean, everybody shares a little bit of everything. So hopefully y'all like the content that we put out here, and
like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Thanks. Have a good evening.